Welcome to Sound Ceremony, the ancient art of sound healing in our modern day world.
We are on a journey to take our sound ceremony to the main stage.
In this podcast, we dive deep into sound healing, ceremony, raving, and the dance music industry.
Expect intimate conversations with artists who share their stories behind the intention and inspiration of their tracks. I'm Eva.
I'm Lisa.
Welcome to Sound Ceremony. We are so excited for you to be here today.
Thank you so much. So we're starting now? We already starting?
We are beginning now. Yes.
Okay,
Today we have Amir Pelham joining us, and we're so excited to interview today. And we've used your music a lot in our sound healing ceremonies and in our rhythmic metamorphosis practice. So to have you here and hear the story behind the music that you create and share with the world is really beautiful. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's a blessing to be able to get this feedback from you. To know that music I've been working on is just delivering the message and making some impact. I think it's a big blessing for me, and so I'm very excited to get to know myself better through you, and same for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to begin with a short meditation to open up the ceremonial space. So if I can have you, Amir, Eva, and the audience find a comfortable seat, or if you want to stand or lay, if you're listening. And if you are operating machinery or vehicle, do not close your eyes. Keep open. But if you have the ability to close your eyes, go ahead and close your eyes and begin to soften into this present moment. And begin by connecting with your breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose and slowly fill up. And slowly exhale out your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Just take a few rounds of breath on your own. Begin to connect with the rhythm of your breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath. And gently place your hands on your heart. Feel the rhythm of your heart that is beating to keep you alive. What a gift it is to feel this rhythm. Begin to notice any sensations that are becoming more alive in your body. Without changing anything, without judging, just note it. And greet those sensations with your breath. And begin to imagine or visualize a ball of white light in your heart, surrounding your heart now as it's growing as you breathe. And now this ball of white light is becoming bigger and bigger, bigger than your body, bigger than the room that you're in, bigger than the world. And its capacity is infinite. This giant ball of white light represents love, universal love. And you can place anything in your mind or in your body that is coming up into this bubble. Take a deep breath in. And slowly breathe out. Feel the aliveness of this present moment. through connecting to your body. Through the deepening of this presence, we create space to plant the seed of intention for something that aligns with a loving vision. And as we connect to this presence, may we be open to receive whatever divinity wants to flow through us. And may we speak from a heart, a love-driven place. Take another breath. And may the wisdom that flows through us today reach those who need it. And may it always continue to ripple. Gently open your eyes and rest your hands on your lap. Begin the ceremony. Thank you for joining us in that meditation and for being a part of planting this intention to be open, to share from a loving place, and to the hopes that our message reaches who it needs to reach. So it's really important to us to be intentional with all that we do, even in this podcast. So thanks. What does intention mean to you?
The question is what intention in general or intention specifically for now?
For you in general, what does intention mean to you?
Just gonna try and make you a little bit louder. Can you repeat the question?
Yes. What does intention mean to you in general?
Intention is trying to do something that is for the good, for the benefit of myself and others, and in relation to the divine.
Yes, it's this beautiful pause we can create that allows us to align our actions or our path. And it doesn't take much time, but it does take that tiny little bit of a pause, just like we did a ceremony before we started the podcast. It's just, it could be a breath that realigns us. And it's something that if we do take the time to do, more of our actions end up being aligned to that instead of us being pulled by whatever is happening around us only.
And as an artist, what is your intention with the music that you create?
Yeah, it's a good question because it's really related to my self-development, but my vision is that music will somehow play an important role in the new spiritual manifestation of the world, or awakening. But in the same time, I don't want to, speak too strongly and keep myself humble, and just remember what music used to play in my life. It was always a form of prayer, a deep friend that I could always trust on, a messenger. So yeah, somewhere inside my heart, I wish to deliver music that will help people to be hopeful, optimistic, also to myself. Yeah, when I say people, I first of all say that the change is from me outside. So yeah.
That's beautifully said. I think like I can relate to that where music was always my closest friend to lean on in moments that were really uncomfortable, dark, and in moments that were really like celebratory and light and beautiful. And both are beautiful, but yeah, I never really thought about it like actually like calling it a friend. And I think it's something that reminds us that like in any given moment where we might feel like we are alone, we can tune into music, and it reminds us that we actually aren't alone. We are connected to something much greater, and that's why I think music is so spiritual too, because it is like bringing in that divine essence into the present moment when you're listening. That reminds you that you are held, you're being supported by something else.
It's the universal language of the world. Everything is a vibration, and we're always listening to sound, whether it's the noise of the world, the noise from people's emotions, or whether it's the harmony of the world and the harmony from someone. And if you think of love as harmony and anger as noise, if you think of song as harmony and the language, then you can think of like, a car crash as noise. So it's always around us. It's just that music is something that allows us to be lifted up. It's talking to us like a friend. Absolutely.
When did you start creating music?
I started creating music about 6 years ago. Yeah, it started in the US, and where I was lucky enough. I moved to New York to go to school. I went and studied social impact, master's degree in NYU. And in the first 2 years in New York City, I couldn't understand what is really happening, because it wasn't easy. I felt pretty lonely, and I couldn't find my, I'd say, community. But after 2 years, I was invited to this event, quite accidentally, in Vermont. And it was a closed group named Pink. They're still celebrating together, many of them from New York City and all around the world. And it was a spontaneous offer for me to join to their summer festival, and by a friend. And I said, yeah, let's do it. Why not? And I remember when I came, we came close enough to the cabin, I could hear the music, the deep bass, the kick. Yeah, and I felt my heart is starting to connect. And I said, wow, this music is exactly what I'm looking for. And then I met the people, very friendly people, and we celebrated. You want to take a break to it's good? Okay.
Yeah, I think the sound just cut out for a second. But
yeah. So then I met a bunch of really nice, wonderful people, and felt at home. And then the flower of me being a DJ, first of all, before I started creating, that was my first step. It was starting to bloom in a pretty late age compared to the industry's average, I would say, because I was 33, maybe 32. So now I'm 40. So yeah, I'm 2 years before I started creating, I was DJing, which was a phenomenal experience, because there's something in DJing that for me was so amazing, to be able to channel music to people, to really imagine what would be the best journey for everyone, in accordance with place and the crowd and the time and everything. So on this wave of being a DJ in New York City, many extraordinary experience took place, like DJing in the most crazy parties in the Burning Man community in New York, of radical expression, and many very nice people to meet. I want to say crazy people in some way, but crazy good people that have a drive to come out of the comfort zone. And so it started, developed, and then I went to Burning Man, and that was also one of the most amazing experiences, because I was DJing there in a few stages. So I wasn't just a burner, I was one of the people that came who brought the gift of music. And so in a couple of years since I started touching music, something very interesting took place, that I was pretty rapidly got a lot of support from the universe, from God, and to show me, okay, you accepted the invitation to be a servant in this field. So I took it most seriously, and I used to organize parties in Tulum as well. So I kind of transposed all my vacation time to places where I could do something with music. So a nice hotel in Zulum accepted my request to just be there and make parties for them, and just live on their account. And mystical, magical, maybe we won't have the specific time to deal with each experience, but it seems that the time of the universe, the personal time of the universe for me, was expanding himself or multiplying himself for me to experience many crazy experiences that music, and then later on yoga, exposed me to. Yes. So and actually creating music was a all new different level, because to create music for me was to really be face to face with my shadows, because playing music was pretty easy. You need to love music and you can play it, and and I was surrounded by friends most of the time that supported. But to create music is like, wow, it's a different level, because it's sometimes to sit by myself in the studio with no initial academical knowledge in music theory. I used to play the guitar, I'm playing the guitar and stuff like that, but to create music, it's actually to compose something that should be perfectly, I wouldn't say perfect because it's art, but will be suitable in many levels. For example, when we listen to a track today, there is so much work behind this track, besides coming out with an idea, but it's also, there is like mix and master, just leveling everything that will be harmonically, not only harmonically, in the frequency level, that everything will sit tightly and won't disturb. Like it's supposed to be like a really clean and neat garden to deliver to people. And this work takes a lot of time to learn. It was quite a learning curve. And it wasn't so easy anymore. It was hard. It's still hard to create. So yeah, it's all still going on since seriously really sitting in my studio and creating for 6 years. And it started with a good friend. We started creating together. So that was nice to have the first year with support.
What was the first time that you knew that you were going to start DJing? It's, you said that you first started DJing a little while, but where was that moment where you said, I want to do that? Was there a show that you went to see? Were you just always kind of around it? You said you played the guitar, but I hear a story that starts even before you became a producer. Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that clearly, actually. So it will be an easy question to answer because based on this community, I had so many friends in New York, and we used to go to parties together, and for me it was to open up to a whole new world of intimately connected to people in levels that I didn't know before. And it was all very exciting for me. And also emotionally turbulating sometimes. So it was extreme times, of course, looking backwards, all in full gratitude. And there is people in my life that are not close to me physically right now, and even we haven't spoke for some time, but I know that our experiences together around the community of music will be always cherished. And I'm just waiting. Actually, I'm waiting for the moment to see my friends in the US again. And I'm waiting that my career will be on that path. And even if I'm not going to wait for a formal booking, but to be able to just come and visit people that I miss so much. So back then I decided to organize myself a birthday party in one of New York's clubs. I took a bar and closed it, and I knew that many friends will come, not only from that community, but because I was involved in other communities that I know how I did it, but I had friends from all over, and from many other communities that related to music. So I decided to bring all these communities together. And so I started booking DJs to my party. And one of them is Carlos, a good friend. And he was a DJ, a bedroom DJ, used to DJ to his friends. And he never DJed live, like publicly. Nevertheless, he came to me and he asked me, Amir, someone told me you organize a party or something. Can you put me in the lineup? And I said, absolutely, Carlos. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to open up the party. And yeah. And then I just, I was energetically connected to him because he was so excited playing in my party. It was his first public gigs. All his friends came. And I watched him doing it so eloquently. He just came and played so, so nice. And I said, wow, I can do it as well. Why not? A day after, I went to Peru. I think it was maybe, let's say 32. So it was I think it was the age of 32. It was a birthday gift for myself. I went by myself to Peru with an aim to manifest and see and touch the land and the views of my dreams. So there, I started maybe establishing this decision even deeper in the level of praying and asking my higher self to help me with that journey that I'm going to take. I even told some people that I met along the way, I'm going back to New York City and I'm going to be, take this DJing thing pretty seriously. So in Peru, it's really took the shape. When I came back, I played in my first party. It was a group of friends named themselves the House of Soul, and they a bunch of really crazy and fun friends who takes a winter home and a summer home in upstate New York, where this home is for the weekend, maybe a little bit more, becoming a place of worshiping music, electronical music, all around friendship and electronical music. And so I asked my friend to play there for the first time, and he gave me a few hours to play. And so I then invited Carlos back to my home and told him ASAP, come to me a crash course in DJing because I don't know what to do. So for a few hours, for a few hours, they taught me what to do. And then I just jumped to the water and I was so excited for my first set. It was unbelievable. I came out in a banana costume. So it was, initially it was just trying to take it easy, and it was, and it was summertime, beautiful grass, beautiful nature, only friends, a few dozens of people. And from there, a snowball started to roll down because I posted some parts from the sets on Facebook, and then another friend named Pony is a DJ from New York. He invited me to actually play in a club. Said, "Oh, I see you're DJing. You want to play?" I said, "Yes, of course." And I remember it was like, "What's going on?" I went. I remember this time I took the subway to this. It was the Church. It's called the Church. It's like a underground bar that on Thursday they bring speakers and it's become a club, a mini club. And I was like, my mind was, it blew my mind that after a week of just learning how to DJ, I'm going to DJ in this mini club with real New Yorkers, And I went out and I spoke to a friend, and bunch of my friends all came 5 minutes to 10, like one after another and after another. It was, to see the support was so nice, so supportive. And from there, I was invited to another event, more on the side of the, I would say, erotics exploration community of New York. And for me, it was another, it's like, it's things that I only seen in movies, and it's just unfolding in front of my eyes, and I'm living part of it, and can bring my gift. So it was all very exciting. The beginning was very powerful.
It sounds like, when you went to Peru and you called upon your higher self and were like, help me, I'm open to receive this help. And it just like started talking back to you like, okay, I hear you, through all the people that you were meeting. And it just kept giving you more breadcrumbs to follow, letting you know that you were on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Yes.
cool to like zoom out and hear the story and see, like, because we've both witnessed that in a similar way with like calling upon, like, we feel called to do this, please help us. And then you just like sit back, surrender, and then it just starts coming to you. You feel the breadcrumbs. The universe is speaking to you through every interaction with human beings, with nature, and it's just the most beautiful signs that we can see. We open up our eyes to see.
Well, it's the power of intention, because just like you went to Peru and you asked your higher self and you put the intention out into the universe. And
Yeah.
that's what we did, the same thing. So it is beautiful to see, because that is literally why intention is so important, and how it's manifested in your beautiful, beautiful story of what you've been able to experience. Because it sounds like you didn't go through, there's a lot of like noise in the music industry, so you were at, it sounds like you were at the right place at the right time, and you got to see all of this really, really cool thing, all these really amazing things. So we could probably talk to you about out for hours about all the stories you have, it sounds like.
Yeah, many great stories, and thank you for sharing that. Like even Lisa, it's amazing to just to be able to recognize it back again and to be appreciative, because I can say, and it sounds very sweet, but I know that it was full of challenges as well, and especially from the place of the ego and the impatient, or not trusting the timing, the right timing for things to take place, and then still faulty in that. And I know it's only me punishing myself. It's actually more complicated than that, because it's a lot of question of education, things that comes from childhood, and trauma and stuff like that. That it's also maybe an all new world to speak about, but it's still very important to acknowledge that we are in the wounded world, born and raised into a wounded world. I can definitely speak for myself. So I know that sometimes it's hard to just really surrender and push the right amount to create the right momentum and then wait. It's very hard. So when I'm saying I'm faulty for that, I want to be more merciful and gentle with myself and say, this is the nature of the world. So it's just part of humanity, as I was born to, that to be a little bit more pushy that I want to. So I'm still learning how to really let go. And actually, what's brilliant about that is that what I'm learned, and I was actually thinking about it yesterday. Yeah, I was in a place that I was feeling a little bit of jealousy. And I said, I always can compare myself to others. And this is one of the traps of being an artist. It's very competitive, specifically in the electronic music industry. It's a competitive and dark. There is darkness and competition, and a lot of shaking hand based of success. But then I said to myself, well, actually, when I let go, maybe I don't get exactly what I want or imagine, but it's unfolding in other ways that could be in the long term much more exciting and benefiting. So it was my answer for myself, for okay, you're not good enough, you're not famous enough, where does it go? These kind of questions.
The music industry and being an artist is is definitely competitive, and there is a lot of darkness because of the ego that drives the entire industry. Your comment about not like often many artists, when they're providing or offering up their gift to the world, when you're doing it in a place where you're getting compensated for it, there is that, am I good enough? Because the gift is being measured against others, against how it performs, but that's not necessarily the value of the gift. And so I know that's very, very difficult because you want it to touch millions of people, but even if it touches 10 people or one person, it's still a beautiful gift. And it's still what we are here to do. And also, the one thing that I think that I have been saying, I think, to everyone that I meet that's an artist now, and myself too, is that I recently saw, we talk about vibration and the vibration of love and how, uplifting the world, changing your vibration. It's a conversation everyone's having in the world now. The one that was very important for me to hear was, higher than the vibration of love is the vibration of authenticity, meaning that you or me or Lisa, we are our authentic selves, which is this sum of our stories, a sum of our personalities. And what we're here to do is to channel that and offer it up to the world. And it's not going to be like anyone else. And that gave me the gift of surrender, because I don't have to be anybody else. You don't have to be anyone else. Whatever your gift is and your beautiful music is not going to be like anyone else. And that is amazing. And we hear it. And that's why we're talking to you, because you spoke to us through your authentic self and we heard it and we responded. And so it's hard to remember that in the world that we live in, but it's something that I like to remind myself and also remind others that hopefully that's a light that you can carry with you, because it helps me. So thank you for.
Yeah. No, you're more than welcome. Sorry for just it remind me. Two amazing maybe mantras or positive affirmations. Is you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And I said that especially. I wouldn't say to someone who has bad intentions or no. Yeah, and again, it's another philosophical discussion because everybody's supposed to be good, but some people influence to lead their life in a bad way. But let's say that's someone that looks for the good, that searches for the good, that is made an internal commitment to be a closer person to the divine, to the lights of this world, not to the darkness. I think this actually sentence makes more sense, because there is someone or something that is much bigger and stronger, that is taking responsibility for. I want to believe that, and it's taking charge, or escorting me, or shows me the way, because I was committing to use my weapons, my instruments, for the good. So this one sentence that came to me: you are where you're supposed to be if you are following the path of light. If you are following the path of dark, it might be a little bit different. And the second one is someone named Jimi Hendrix said. Jimi Hendrix. And it's a friend told me that sentence a few days ago, and I was goosebumped. It's when the power of love will overcome the love of power, in that day the world will see peace, or will know peace.
Love is truly the medicine. And Love is the medicine. Yes. And earlier we were talking about how music is like this universal language. Everyone can understand. And in those moments where we felt really dark and alone, we've turned to music, we've turned to harmony, and it's reminded us that we're not alone. We have a friend right there to lean on because it feels like love. It feels very supportive and warm. It feels like you're hugged. And in that moment, it feels medicine. It feels like medicine. You no longer feel really sick
Yeah.
or dark. And it's because the, well, I don't know that all music is made with love because like there is so much power behind intention and there is some music that when you listen to like your body does tense up, it resists it, and then you like put on the next song. But in that moment when you feel like you can like exhale and you can soften into the present moment, like it's because it feels very loving and warm, because the intention behind that was from a very pure loving place, and it was very medicinal in that moment. And full circle, love is the medicine. Music can be medicinal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's our intention, and with the work that we're doing is that to make music that is healing, and to collect, not to collect, but to collaborate and to find other people who are doing the same thing and sharing and putting the light on that so we can share it even brighter, because we honestly do believe that music can heal the world. It's the vibration of the world, and if we can create more harmony, and just a little bit of a tipping point, we can create harmony just above. We just have to do 51%, 51% and 51% in one direction, and you can start the ball rolling, even if it's slow. And so yeah, I think that when you're saying that not all music is made, because the world is driven by power and ego, a lot of the times we will hear that in what is played, for sure, and what you've experienced in your life as well, where you're talking about the industry itself. So you said that you started a yoga practice.
Yeah.
When did that start? Or was there a spiritual practice before yoga? Was that the beginning of a different spiritual practice? Can you tell us a little bit more?
Well, yeah, let's see. Well, it's all started with music, and then through the community, I was in my first time in my life exposed, I would say maturely, to I would say consciousness helpers. And I discovered sides in me that I was longing for. To know beyond the busy mind and the anxious mind and the protective mind was this beautiful person that I'm still trying to escort out of the darkness sometime into the light, to live his life fully. So the same community was very supportive in whoever in this community who's pushing his consciousness and his own comfort zone. And I was luckily enough to be in that. And then I continued into shamanic, specifically ayahuasca. I was working with the medicine closely for a few years. And within this time frame, I got to know good friends in Tulum, in one of those parties. And it was one of these mystical nights, full moon. The party was I don't know how, but it became pretty big. People from many local people came, and it was such a nice celebration. It was tropical storm starting to come, and it was what's going on. So people started building a shelter around me, and I was DJing in this, inside these tables, and people were dancing in the rain, and it was very cinematic. And there I met two friends from New York, from the same group of friends, and they we instantly became really good friends. We shared amazing experiences together, and they teach me back in New York. They teach me how to do yoga in Central Park, and I remember because it was part of my own quest for yoga and meditation, because I felt that there is something in my life, especially the ability to be with myself, by myself. Something was missing, like something wasn't fully synchronized. So I remember I started taking this yoga, and I did my studio in Upper East Side, and I was starting doing yoga. Like after they was teaching me a few poses, I was doing it, and every day, and finally I have some space. Oh my God, I can be here and do something and enjoy it, not thinking about the next thing. So pretty fast I went and did my yoga training course, to be an instructor in Isla Mujeres, Mexico. So I went there for 1 month, and I did a squeezed course of Ayurveda and yoga, and under amazing teachers. Very funny teacher named Lal that was singing, I know, songs about Krishna, and was always very jolly. And another instructor named Molly, an older woman that practicing for. So I got the female and the male energy into my yoga, and then that's it. I was a yogi quite again rapidly, and I used to do yoga almost every day, like every day for maybe for 2 years, every day, the full Shivananda, and then I was teaching for a couple of months in the ashram in New York City. There is a beautiful Shivananda ashram, upstate New York, in the fall. Again, it's like entering into a painting for me. I never saw fall so beautifully decorated. It's so amazing. And it was also an amazing place for self-contemplation, because I could go to the forests. And so I started taking this, and I used to teach people, and I used to teach in festivals, and until today I'm doing a lot of yoga. But somewhere along this path, I was longing for something deeper. And then I started, meditation started knocking on my door. And I started meditating, and I was entering into that realm pretty fast with silent meditation. And then going back to this ashram in upstate New York, a very mystical, powerful place. And I was starting, meditating more specifically, for example, in a temple of Shiva or in temple of Durga with a spatial intention, or Saraswati, who in charge of creativity. I was more like, hey, there is actually a question and an answer here. There is something personal here. And then in this ashram, in my karma service, I was sitting resting someplace, and I was seeing a small book, just looks like maybe 100 years old book, and I was taking it like that. It was almost ripping apart in my hands, and I saw that the title is "At the Feet of the Master," and this book spoke about initiation from the world of matter to the world of spirit, from initiation from being just a regular person in the world to be a servant. Again, a servant for the good, a servant for the universe, a servant of God at the feet of the master. And it was, for me, it was like really spoke to me. And then I came back to Israel and I met a community of yogis, Bhakti Yoga. I don't know if you heard about Bhakti Yoga. And I met the mantra meditation, specifically the Hare Krishna mantra. So as for this moment, I'm living among people who practice meditation daily and trying to eat sattvic, vegetarian, ahimsa food, going to classes together, singing together mantras, and especially treating myself and healing wounds that I was avoiding for many, many years. So I can say that yoga, meditation, today specifically the mantra meditation, and also studying the Bhagavad Gita or trying to live life by the values of the Bhagavad Gita is a major pillar in my life as a yogi, as someone who's trying to practice yoga. I hope this answer wasn't too long for the question.
No, it's really beautiful, and it's something that we deeply resonate with because we're both yogis and have taught yoga for like a decade now. So we definitely relate to that, and I'm really glad that you mentioned bhakti, which is a practice of devotion in a time like, this devotion of devoting your practice, every breath, every movement, every chant to a god or a goddess. It's for the greater good. It's for the collective consciousness, whether it's a god or goddess or someone that you look up higher than yourself, your own higher self. And with everything that you do with the purest intention that it is for the good of all and it is not harm to none. I just think that's such a beautiful message that anyone can carry, whether they're practicing a physical yoga asana practice or just trying to implement the principles of yoga into their life. Devotion, I think, is the most powerful thing that can really create a big ripple in the world. It's just being devoted through love.
Amen. Yes.
Yeah. And part of what kind of sparked my or what drew me to your music was the names of your songs. And then when I read your bio, this was actually maybe last year when I found you. I was like, oh my gosh, I sent your bio to Eva. I was like, he teaches yoga, he's a sound healer, and he put there's a lot of Vedic wisdom in your music. And I was like, I love this. I resonate with this so much. And so I'd love to talk more about your first album and specifically the song Art of Compassion. Do you have a story behind that? I'm sure you do.
Well, the Art of Compassion is a very special song for me because it was an opening to a new full album of 12 tracks that came out in a beautiful music label from Germany, of German group who makes festivals as well. And they were in the beginning pretty hard people to catch on or to find a way to communicate. But when I got this communication going and I sent them the album, the next day I got a phone call from one of my friends today, who is the owner of the label, one of the founders of the label in this festival, and told me, we love this album so much, we want to take it all. And I said, wow. And it was, personally, it was so important for me because I needed this recognition. It was super important for me. And also, the way of creating this track, I would say that I have a few sides. I'm allowing myself to follow a few genres of electronic music, and you probably notice that when you listen to my music, there is the dark and the light, and there is I would say the more organic deep house, but there is also more melodic techno and progressive house. So there is more tracks on the dark side. and there is more tracks and music on the happy and cheerful side, and both of these sides are in me, and asking for my, you know, and also when I play music, I can manifest and bring out the whole journey of emotion, the whole palette of emotions in a way that will be and some people taking some, you know, it's maybe some people would say it will be more professional to pick one genre and keep going and put all the, but for me I cannot, because if I'm depressed or I'm sad or I'm angry, I want to express that, and I want it to be, like you said, authentic. And when I'm more cheerful or hopeful or prayerful, that's the way I want to express myself. So Art of Compassion was actually one of the tracks. It just opened up and something happened. You know, I felt for maybe a second that I'm not the one who is doing. Speaking of the big Bhagavad Gita, it's one of the preliminary, how you say that, teachings of the Gita, like the basic, that we are not the doers, especially if we are instruments. That's where the magic happens. So something in this track just simply happened, and I was so excited. It touched myself. It touched me, my heart, my own heart. This and the name also was suitable for that, because Art of Compassion. No, it's music is Art of Compassion, and this song was from Art of Compassion, and I want to be compassionate to all living beings, including myself. Maybe that's the most important because if I'm not compassionate to myself, it will be less authentic to try to be compassionate outside. So yeah, and just simply made, but harmonically beautiful. And actually, when I'm playing the piano, especially lately, I'm trying to take my keyboard piano more and more seriously when I'm playing old sonatas like Beethoven or Chopin. I found out that they also have some more complicated, but I'm more attracted to the simplicity. And so that's what Art of Compassion is a simple and beautiful and soft track, but there is some urge inside also for inner call to wake up and see, because if everything is good, compassion is not needed. But to face the truth is to see a world with much bigger potential for love than it is right now, not only for human beings, for everyone, for all creatures. It's actually a pretty terrible place, unfortunately, for many. And this is to face the truth and not to be happy, joy, and to say, you know, oh, everything is good and life is great. And no, there is a humanity has to repair itself, has to wake up and to repair itself. So maybe it circles back to what's his intention. I think the intention of this song and this whole album that came out, Art of Compassion, is show me a sign, God, show me a sign that I'm a good servant and you taking me in. Because I don't want to be just another person trying to live his life, escaping the tears, the rain, you know, escaping the rainfalls. And I want to do something. I want to make an impact. And before making an impact, I have to gently take care of myself and clean my heart. So I think this album was okay. You're okay. You're in good hands. That was the reciprocation I received. And also what's wonderfully happened is they invited me, this group, 3000 Grad, they told me, you're signing this full album, and we want to bring you to Germany to play this in a festival, in our festival. So after a few months, I had my first serious international booking with everything is organized with a paycheck, but more. So it was actually more marked that keep doing what you're doing. And then I played the full album and more, a little bit more, to the crowd on a daylight. And you can actually find the movie of that. I took a camera and I took a video of the all sets from this festival, and the whole album is being played with a good volume, good sound quality. And what happened there, it was really magic and beautiful. It was a beautiful manifestation, beautiful connection, and just somewhere inside of me, I'm just actually praying for more of that. It was very joyful.
That's amazing. Because it sounds like, well, it doesn't even sound like you're on the right path. You're living your authentic self, and you're sharing your gift with the world, and that is what we're meant to do. That is what we're here for. When we are servants, when we are here to be creators, it is to do that. And that song and that album is beautiful, and we cannot wait to hear more more of that. and we hear and feel exactly what your message is when we listen to it. So thank you.
Where can our audience find your music and keep up with everything that you're creating? You share your social media handle, your and your Spotify and SoundCloud.
Yeah. I have to say that I'm handling my social media pretty well, and I'm updating both my Instagram and my Facebook with new releases or events that I'm playing at. If people in Israel right now, it's less relevant, but things will come back to normal one day. So I'm playing in very interesting events in Israel and sometimes outside of Israel, and I do hope that in time I will be able to expose myself more internationally. So that's both is on Instagram and on Facebook, and also Spotify is more defined with original music. Okay, so if I have an album coming out, it's on Spotify and on Beatport if DJ want to buy it. And then on SoundCloud, it's more like journeys. So it's if I'm playing somewhere and record myself, so it's could be a 1 hour, 2 hour, sometimes 3 hours. So on my SoundCloud, you can find some, I believe, really nice sets from the Beach Bar. I'm a resident in the summers in the Beach Bar of Caesarea. It's a pretty beautiful place. It's a Roman city port, and there is a beach club inside the ruins. And yes, and the DJ booth is just in front of tables and all these kind couches and sunbeds, and behind it is the open sea, or it's actually the port, and then the open sea, and there is like beautiful sunset and a really nice accommodation. So I recorded a few sets from this summer and last summer, so people can take in 2 or 3 hours journey with what I have over there. And I also have another sector of things that is I recommend to listen. Spatial remixes I do, and this is also on SoundCloud because it's not on Spotify. Because if I take for example, I did a few mixes for Coldplay music like clocks, but it's not formal. And when it's not formal, it's not coming out freely on the internet. So I have some really cool remixes for songs that inspires me on SoundCloud that, like say Coldplay and Supergirl, Depeche Mode, stuff like that. That it's worth taking a listen to.
Well, I'm sure our audience is going to enjoy that a lot, so we'll be sure to link everything in the show notes. But thank you again for sharing your art and your story with the world. Yes, keep creating.
Yeah, thank you so much for what you're doing. It's blessed, and your energies are amazing. You know, I saw this. I think it's you, Eve, that you're dancing there, right?
Well, we both are definitely dancing, but
Yep.
ends up being
I think the video that we mentioned you in was me with
It was Lisa.
the
Okay.
tapping
Yes,
affirmations.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. It was Lisa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we have your music on our playlist for people to do EFT tapping and their affirmations so that they can manifest their dreams into reality. Like you just shared your story of, going to Peru, asking your higher self, putting the intention into the universe, and then this beautiful journey just unfolding, surrendering. So, yeah, the power of intention, tapping into the frequency of trust and love and surrender is so, so powerful. So, yeah, that story is going to be very, very powerful for a lot of people to hear.
I cannot wait to share it.
Yeah, you just have my full support in what you're doing, and I'm just excited and praying for our beautiful friendship and to manifest amazing experiences together. I really pray for that.
We
To meet one day in real life and